let's see, soldered all the flat things at this point. So the first few steps. So here we have, here's the op amp socket in place. Those capacitors are in place, the little 0.1 UF1s, and then the that 100K resistor standing up. That's how a standing up resistor looks like. So flipping it over, clamp it in place with our helping hands. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit here. That's the wrong layer. Oops. That's not what we want. Okay. So, here, tweezers this time. This is the op amp. It's these two rows. And because we flipped over, the top left is now the top right. So the square pad, that's another way you know that it's the pad number 1. Square pad is pin number 1. So that's pin number 1. That's pin number 2. That's pin number 3. Pin number 1 is the non-inverting input, I think. Hold on, let's look at our pin out again. 1 is our output. So we're not attaching anything to that. 2 is the inverting out input. 3 is the non-inverting input. So 1, we're not doing anything with. 2 and 3. Glad I looked those up just to double check. 2 and 3 are the ones where we cut the trace between those. I'm just going to confirm that on the opposite side here, these two those are not doing anything. On the opposite side, well, actually, I don't know how the others are hooked up, so who knows if they're going to be connected. Anyway, these two not doing anything. I slipped. But to check our diagram, again, our schematic of what we're going to do. The output, we are doing something to the output. Well, what was I talking about? Okay, it's 1 and 2. I'm breathing in too many fumes here, too many solder fumes. Scratch everything that I said for the past few minutes. 1 and 2, these are the ones where we cut the trace between them. 1 is the output, and 2 is the inverting input. So we want the 47K between those two. Again, 1, that's the output. 2, that's the inverting input. So the 47K is going between those two. This is what I was doing when I was practicing in the meantime, is with those two pins. So I was right the first time, wrong just now, and right again. This is very often usually a measure twice, cut once, then measure again, figure out what went wrong with that cut, measure a few more times, glue some stuff together. Eventually it works. Sometimes. Okay. So I'm going to do that. You see I've twisted the legs into a configuration like this on this resistor. I was thinking about using one of these. This little guy. That is a surface mount 0805 sized resistor. Same thing. I could very easily just put that between those two it would be marvelous. This one, though, is 1/8 watt. All the rest of these resistors in this kit are 1/4 watt. I'm sure it doesn't make a difference because I did the math and it should be enough, but I don't trust my math. And just for the, just keeping everything the same here, I'm just going to use these. So, okay, so this is again, a 47K. This is from Tata. I can't get it in frame. 47K ohm resistor. I'm going to put it right here. There's already solder on these pins. Okay, that didn't work. Just trying to tack one in place. So I'm going to free up my hand and use some solder. That didn't work, but let's see, I'll just do this. That also didn't work. This is going badly. Okay. That one is tacked into place on pin 2. Bend that one down a little bit more. I don't know if this is... Okay. Actually, you know what? Before I trim those off, let me see. 2, the inverting input. We now need a 24K resistor between pin 2 and ground. Now, I left these leads untrimmed. These are from the that one resistor, 100K, just to confirm the long one here, the way I did it, is going to ground. Yes. I'm going to trim the short one just so I don't get out of the way. Okay, so now I need to put this 24, double check that this is the right one, yes. Wait, is that? Okay, I'm gonna double check on the multimeter. Yes, it's 24K. This is a 24K ohm resistor. Somehow we need to make it go between this leg and that in a very just low profile kind of way. That's not bridging any other connections. Let's see. I'm going to twist these together here. Okay, so that'll be easy enough there. Now what am I going to do on the other side? It needs to go to pin 1, which is that one, so let's see. Who knows if this will work? This is probably not. This is, who knows? Okay. Boom. Yes. Great. Great. And boom. Okay. That looks like it might work. I feel like I'm melting these resistors. Okay. I feel like I'm doing jewelry making or something with all this. Oh no. That's a big blob of solder. Okay. Great. What's that? Oh, that's the capacitor. Okay. That looks like it's in place. I'm going to trim it off. Not trimming all of it off because I don't want to cut the connection. I'm going to trim that. That one. That one. A little bit more there. That one. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this back into beeping mode. Now let's see. I want to make sure that those are connected. I mean, they're pretty much welded together there, so that's all good. I'll make sure that this is not bridged. I didn't accidentally bridge 1 and 2. Good. I want to make sure that I did not accidentally bridge this one with the next socket over. That's good. Make sure that one's not bridged. That's good. I guess here's a way of... I want to make sure, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to make sure that these are actually soldered well. So I'm going to stick this into... Oh, man. Got a little melty down there. Yikes. Well, anyway. Pin 1. And just jam that in there. If I can. Okay. Yikes. And touch that lead up there, and it doesn't do anything. That's because I'm using the wrong, that's totally the wrong socket. Okay. Yes, that was the wrong socket. Yeah. All right, this one. Still not working. Also the wrong socket. I'm getting turned around. Again, I'd like to emphasize that I was an English major. I work in the arts. I have no degree in electrical engineering, no training. But it beeps. That's great. Okay, now the next one. Pin 2. It works. Fantastic. So, there you go. So now I need to just do the rest of the kit and then plug it in and see if anything catches on fire. Make sure that little bit there isn't touching anything. Bend it down. Whatever. Okay, it's smaller than the height of all these other sockets that are, all these other components that are going here. Like here's, is that the right switch? I don't think so. But anyway, point is that's the height, so it just has to be lower than 9 millimeters. It looks like it's lower than 9 millimeters. All right, great. Now I'm going to do the rest of the kit, and at some point in the future, plug it in, see if it works. And hopefully, again, to review, what this will do is turn this unity gain buffer for the incoming gate signal, turning that, it was not getting, it required a very, this is the Erica Synths DIY educational kit 5-step sequencer. And something that people who have built it have found is that this gate in is here. The clock in requires a voltage that's higher than your average clock module provides. It needs at least, I figured, probably about 6 volts or more, which is a lot. And with this configuration, so people have to boost it, amplify it, and as you can see from the schematic, the incoming clock signal goes through an op-amp, and the current configuration of this op-amp is as unity gain, which means what you put into 3 comes out of 1, but more stable. This 100K resistor here is a pull-down resistor, so that when no voltage is coming in, it will be 0 volts and not floating around. But what we just did now is cut the trace between 1 and 2, pins 1 and 2, and add a resistor, and then put another resistor between pins 2 and ground. And we did the ground side of this resistor here. This lead is someplace that we had access to ground. So on the side of this resistor, that long leg that I just twisted around, the resistor going from 2 to here, that was the long leg of this, which was going directly to ground. So, and then the other one was between 1 and 2. So that's what happened. And that configuration is this. Just to review, to recap, a 47K resistor and a 24K resistor. And in this model, in this demo that I did here, this is what would happen if you put 2.5 volts in. It will boost it about 3 times gain, give you 7.4 volts out, which is greater than 6, which is half of 12, which is probably what you need. And by using the larger numbers, originally I thought, oh, 2 and 1 ohm resistors. Nope, that would use up like 3 amps, just wasting electricity. So by putting it in this range, it was a very small amount of electricity wasted, and also I put the wrong resistor value for the pull down, but it doesn't matter, I don't think. And so that's that. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully all of that could be summed up more quickly some other way, but hopefully that will help other people who want to do the same thing with this module. Goodbye.